We're nearly at the end of the season, Joe. We can taste the World Cup and the summer is on the horizon. So we thought now would be a perfect time to look back at each club's player of the season. We saw Bruno Fernandes, didn't we? Crowned the Football Writers Player of the Year. So how it's worked is we've got all of the Premier League clubs on the Saturday Social Whiteboard. They are represented alphabetically. And we've asked each of the guests to pick 10 clubs each and give their player that's been the standout player for each club. So, Zach, we'll start with you. Who do you think has been Arsenal's player of the season? Because there's been quite a few to choose from at Arsenal.
No, exactly. Yeah, there is a few to choose from. I've gone with William Saliba.
Wow.
I think this
controversial
season,
potentially.
It is. I think there's a couple other shouts easily. I think David Raya could be in there. I think Declan Rice could be in there. Gabriel could be in there. Defensively this year, they've been amazing. They really have. And last year, I think we saw Gabriel become a lot of that A side for the defence. A lot of credit was given to Gabriel. I think this season, a lot of credit is given to Gabriel as well. David Raya, I don't know, maybe it feels a bit weird to give possibly a title-winning team player of the season to the goalkeeper. I just didn't want to feel like to do that.
I know what you mean.
But William Saliba, for me this year, has shown again how vital he is to this side, how brilliant he is, and really become that A-side defender for them. Last year, as mentioned, I think like it was Gabriel. This year, he's just proven it time and time again to the ability he can go to. Considering how young he is still, how he's got a World Cup coming up for France. I think he's going to be electric there for them. I think it is William Saliba. If someone said to me it was Rice, I wouldn't hate that either. I think that's fair enough.
Would you say that, Dougie?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have gone with Saliba. I probably would have gone with Declan Rice. I feel like he's probably their most important player. And most irreplaceable player as well. I think with Zubimendi dropping off in form slightly, I think Declan Rice has really carried through their last few weeks alongside Lewis Skelly. But look, Saliba and Gabriel are essential to their title win if they do eventually win it.
I'd probably go Rice as well, just because if you look at if Arsenal are likely to win the league, obviously you think player of the season, I know Bruno's in contention, is likely to be a player. I think Declan Rice is the most likely of all the Arsenal players to win that. So, yeah, I'd have gone Rice, but decent shout.
Let's go to Villa.
Let's go to Villa.
Villa, I mean, we talk about a lot of candidates for Arsenal. Villa I actually found quite difficult because I think Ollie Watkins has been absolutely exceptional, but kind of since he was left out of Tuchel's squad in March, he's gone absolutely supernova. I think Rodgers started really slowly, then went very strong, then dipped off, had a great game last night. But across the entire season, I'm going John McGinn. I think his impact in the last few months with a massive assist against Bologna, he got 2 assists against Sunderland in a really crucial game there. And then that performance in that second leg at Villa Park against Nottingham Forest in the Europa League semi-final, 2 goals, just a phenomenal performance and one that puts Villa with a very good chance of winning a first trophy in 30 years next week.
Do you think he's one of the most underrated players in the Premier League? Because I've been on the show saying that. It's like for years when you talk about players in his position, you never put him in that top category. But he's such a big game player. His numbers don't lie. You look at, they've averaged 1.89 points per game when he starts, 0.89 when he's not starting, 9 goals, 6 assists. But the big game moments that he turns up in as well. Do you feel like he's a massively underrated player?
100%, and can play a variety of different roles as well. I think he's now 3rd on Aston Villa's all-time assist chart as well, behind Ashley Young and Mortimer, who played in like the 50s. So John McGinn, an amazing servant to Villa, one of the best bargains in Premier League history as well, given the fee that he was signed for. I think he's had a great year.
Let's go to Bournemouth. Lots of candidates here as well.
I actually thought this was, of my selections, I thought this was one of the hardest ones.
Yeah, I agree.
Really
this is tough, isn't it?
So many players in this Bournemouth side could have ended up being their player of the season. I've gone for Alex Scott.
Okay.
And there's a bit of the narrative around Alex Scott. I think this is somebody who, when he first joined, was a really exciting signing coming to the Premier League. Obviously, he had done really, really well in the Championship. And when he came in, we all thought he's going to light it up. Unfortunately, he had that really long-term injury. He's come back and kind of redeveloped himself a little bit more. I think we know him more as maybe like a 10, and now he's become this 8, and has been so good for them in midfield. Again, Junior Krupi could have easily have got this.
James Hill.
James Hill could have easily got this. I think there's several players at Bournemouth. And considering what they might end up doing, there's genuinely a chance they could be in the Champions League this season.
Incredible,
is a hell of a job. And credit to the players, credit to Iriola. But for me, the narrative for Scott to come back and, to be honest, be in with a shout of going to the World Cup as well is a hell of a season.
Yeah.
Keep him up.
Okay, Brentford.
I think Michael Coyote deserves a shout out, but I think it can only really be Igor Thiago. Only Erling Haaland scored more goals than him. I think he's now on 22 in the league. Big goals too. He scored a brace against Man United, brace against Newcastle, scored against Liverpool. I think he scored 5 goals in 2 games against Everton as well, so he's created a little enemy in Everton. I think he's been brilliant. Most ever goals for a Brazilian in a Premier League
Yeah.
season.
Wild.
Phenomenal.
And of course, nominated for the
Yeah.
25-26 Premier League Player of the Season.
Yeah.
So he's
and we talk about players coming back from
Wow.
injury or difficulty.
Correct, yeah.
Missed
Yeah.
the entirety of last season, pretty much.
Yeah, as you said as well, only Haaland with more goals had an amazing season. I think many Brentford fans would agree it has to be Igor Thiago. Let's go to Brighton, which is one of yours, Zach.
Van Heck. He's
What a player.
been really, really good. I think he's taken his level up a level this season. There's no surprise he's one of the most highly kind of spoken about centre-backs when people are talking about defenders that they're on the lookout for this summer. Not to go shipping off Brighton's players as often does happen, but he is up there. He is, a great age profile where a big club could end up coming in and take him to that next level. He is has the ability on the ball, great leadership as well for Brighton. I think he's somebody who this season has taken it to the next level and, done a really, really good job.
Yeah, heck of a player. Stick him up.
Good.
Very good. That took me a second. Very nice.
Slow reaction. Landed well, but
I think Ferdy Kadioglu as well.
yeah, decent
Yeah.
shout.
Yeah,
Shout.
absolutely.
Go to Burnley.
Burnley was harder. I mean, this is a side that have won one game since Halloween.
Yeah.
It's been a really bleak season for Burnley. Jadon Anthony's had a direct involvement in 27% of their goals. I think he's had the most shots, created the most chances, completed the most dribbles in that Burnley squad. There wasn't a lot of competition for this. I think it was quite a difficult one to pick.
I'm surprised you're not going to Zian Fleming for this because he is their top scorer.
Yeah, I mean,
All
he's
comps.
played a lot of minutes off the bench as well. But yeah, respect. I think, 10 league goals now,
Yeah, 11 all
which is
comps,
really
10
impressive
Premier
given
League
the
goals.
fact he hasn't started every game as well. But I think Jadon Anthony across the entire season's maybe just been a more key member.
Okay,
Fair enough.
let's get him up.
Cool.
Zach, you got the Chelsea?
Yeah, I think this one's quite easy.
Tap in.
Quite easy for Chelsea. It's João Pedro. He's been brilliant for Chelsea. He's come in and done such a great job. That number 9 position has, Chelsea have struggled with over the years. I think when at times at the start of this season there was chats around whether he is a 10 or whether he's a 9. I think he's a fully established number 9 now. I mean, there's still suggestions he might not go to the World Cup, which is absolutely bonkers to me. But he should be arguably Brazil's number 9. Yeah, without a doubt, he's Chelsea's.
Dukes, how would he fit in a Xabi Alonso system?
I think it's quite exciting. I mean, the great thing about Xabi Alonso is he used a 5 at Leverkusen, but at Real Sociedad B and at Real Madrid, very much more of a 4-man. We were actually talking about it while we were having our coffee beforehand, but João Pedro linking up with maybe a Cole Palmer and Estevao, if Estevao is going to kind of tuck in a bit in a 5 at the back system, I think it would work really well. I mean, he's such a flexible player, and I agree with Zach. Big games as well. That brace away at Napoli in the Champions League really sticks out as a big moment.
Yeah, I think one of the things that sticks out about me is when I've watched Chelsea Arsenal, he's one of the few players I've seen this season give Saliba and Gabriel
struck
like a really tough night, physically running in behind.
He's always
doesn't
at
hold
it.
the- Well, he's such a good player.
Okay, next up, Palace. Palace is an interesting one as well because there's a few names that you could.
I think
chuck
so,
in
for
there.
sure. I think Maxence Lacroix has gone under the radar since joining Crystal Palace, to be honest. Hasn't missed a single game with injury over the last 2 years. So reliable, really good long-distance passer as well. I think he's second for clearances in the
He
Premier
is.
League. behind Van
Only
Dijk.
Virgil van Dijk has more clearances in the Premier League this season.
And I think he's 4th for aerial duels 1. I think he goes under the radar because Palace, have lost Gehi, but Richards and Canva have stepped in. But he's kind of had to marshal this defence, which has changed a lot. They had Chalobah last season, then he got recalled by Chelsea. I think he's a really top-quality international player now. He got called up for France.
Yeah, he's in the French one.
He's in the French squad. Super exciting player and someone that hopefully Palace can build around in the next few years. But I think there will be interest from other clubs.
You're right about his availability as well. He's played 53 games in all competitions. He is a mainstay in Palace's side. You think of the other, technically great players that have the likes of Wharton that haven't had as much game time. So it'd be interesting to see what Palace fans think of that one, actually. Let us know what you think of that. But decent shout.
Everton.
Yeah.
Everton. This one was interesting. There's a couple of different players I thought Kieran Dewsbury-Hall has had a fantastic year since joining there in Dye. Is absolutely brilliant. But James Garner is my selection. He's had a really, really strong season this year. Can be a bit of a utility man for them when playing whatever position sometimes he's asked to do. But yeah, he's been fantastic. I think ever since he's joined Everton, he's done such a brilliant job. And this season, if Everton end up getting Europe, which is such a good job considering where they were at last season, and David Moyes coming in and taking them forward, but they can end up playing really nice football. I think James Garner is it's a big reason for that as well. I think he's probably been their player this season.
Do you think he goes World Cup? He's a strong contender, isn't he?
Strong contender. I think he played really well in the few caps he's had.
profile.
But it's really competitive. I mean, you're looking at Bellingham, Rice, Anderson has nailed on. I'd expect Wharton to go. Kobe Mainoo's form's brilliant as well. People will still want Jordan Henderson. I think he's in the discussion. I think he might just miss out.
I think he's so good off the ball. Most tackles, interceptions for Everton, and I was speaking to Cole Palmer yesterday, and we're going to see it later, and he actually named James Garner as his toughest opponent this season.
Really?
Interesting.
He's the hardest player to play.
Set pieces as well. His ability on the ball is fantastic. Like he has been brilliant this season. And again, not to keep like putting a player at them going, another club might be interested. But it wouldn't shock me if somebody did start kind of having a look around.
Stop selling off players, bro.
No,
I've got players, man.
We've got to stop.
Rude. Go to Fulham.
Okay, let's go Fulham.
Fulham.
This is an easy one, isn't it?
Harry Wilson, I think
got
it had to be 16 goals and assists this year. Out of contract in the summer, which is a bit of a worry because Raul Jimenez is out of contract as well, so they need to kind of rebuild that attack. But in a season in which Raul Jimenez, Rodrigo Muniz haven't necessarily put up the numbers that you'd expect, Emile Smith-Rowe hasn't really got going yet in a Fulham shirt, it's kind of been Harry Wilson. I think Fulham's recent drop-off in form is actually quite disappointing because there was potential European football on the table for them, a bit like my club Sunderland, not quite hit their straps, April, May time. But I think Harry Wilson's been brilliant, and I think there'll be a number of Premier League clubs wanting to sign him on a free contract.
It's not just the number of goals. I think sometimes we give a lot of stats, but if you actually look at the quality and the range of goals that
Brilliant
he scored,
striker of the ball,
he's a
yeah.
very all-rounded, technically gifted player. And I think this is a one that we all agree on, so to say. Let's go to Leeds next. Is this a tricky one?
In ways, but I think once you consider the narrative he had around him at the start of the season, it has to be Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He's obviously been electric for them this year, scored so many goals from the Premier League. Somebody who I think had kind of been written off for the last few years. He's had all these injury issues, which people said when he joined Leeds, what are they doing? We've seen him barely be able to play for Everton over the last few years, and they need somebody to be scoring goals for them in order to stay up. And he's done exactly that. He was written off at the start of the season, and I think he's proven to be such a savvy signing. Really, worked for what Daniel Farke's wanted Leeds to do. I think Statch could have been another shout for Leeds. It would have been absolutely fine. But for me, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, considering what people were saying about him at the start of the season, has to be my one for Leeds.
Okay, let's get him up.
Yeah, 14 goals in all comps. DCL. Liverpool. Now, again, this is
obvious one.
Quite an easy one, right?
I think so, yeah. I mean, if Ekitike managed to stay fit, maybe he'd be in the discussion, but I think it's got to be Szoboszlai. I mean, only really those two have probably performed at their absolute level this year. I mean, Liverpool, particularly defensively, now 52 goals conceded. That's shocking for a defending champion. But Szoboszlai has more than done his bit, whether he's playing on the right wing, at right back, as a 10. He's had to play absolutely everywhere. Direct free kicks, he scored 4 of them this year. Only Bruno Fernandes has created more chances in the league. He's tough tackling, he works so hard. And last year, I think he slightly faded towards the end of the season, but this year you can tell his fitness is just so good. I know he didn't have the best performance last night, and neither did his Liverpool teammates as well, but across the entire season, I think he's been outstanding.
Yeah.
Got
Let's
to
get
be
him up. There's
Szoboszlai.
as much debate around Dominic Szoboszlai
Now, Zach,
this
you've got
season.
City.
Yeah.
Now, I think the name that you've got, a lot of people would have, but we were talking about this in rehearsal. Because show us who you've gone with, first of all. You've gone with Haaland, but there's...
You're going to prove my point.
Go on.
You're going
I know
to
you're going to
say-
say judging is by his own standards.
Exactly.
Yeah,
You're going to say Ryan Cherky's been amazing. He has indeed.
Yeah.
And he's obviously a really fun player to watch. Sometimes with Erling Haaland, we forget what he's doing because we're getting used to it.
Yeah, I hear that.
He's the top goal scorer in the league. He's done that in a fairly average season for himself, but to his own, and again, comparing him to his own standards. But this guy, every single season, is leading the way for goals. He is being a nuisance for Man City. He occupies defenders so well. He's always going to be the number 9 for them for years to come. And I think we do this thing where we just go, well, he has scored over 20 goals, but it's Erling Haaland, so we're used to it. But let's be right here. That's not easy to do, especially nowadays with how kind of what the games have been like and being a lot more kind of stodgy, not necessarily giving him City time and like his kind of ideal run, which is in behind the defender. He's having to do a lot more. And I think he's done a really good job at this season in a City side that at times have kind of floundered and gone a little bit off their normal standards. He's been there. Okay, has he had moments where he hasn't hit the lights? Sure, but I think every City player, it took Cherky a while to get up and running. And while people love Cherky, and I agree he's amazing, I still think we need to give their player the season.
It is a great point, that, actually, because he scored 26 goals in the Premier League alone this season. He scored 30-plus goals in all comps in all 4 seasons with Man City.
We're getting too used to it.
Every year that he's there, defenders get more aware of him and know his game inside out. And we are continually critiquing him based on his previous seasons. So it's the other name, it wasn't even Chuck. I was going to chuck Nico O'Reilly in the mix.
Yeah,
I've watched him a lot
completely
live,
fair
and I think he's been unbelievable. I think he's almost a tap-in for the starting left-back role for England. He's nominated for Young Player of the Year. He's had match-winning performances in cup finals. So I just think Nico O'Reilly deserves a shout-out.
Oh, 1,000,000%. And like our expectation for O'Reilly was, we didn't have any, and it's gone so high. Whereas obviously for Haaland, it's so high already, and he keeps matching it, and we get used to it.
Yeah.
But I think it needs to be...
Fair point. Stick him up, mate.
Okay. Big day for Haaland today. We know that Wembley record.
Hopefully that continues. Hopefully that continues.
This is another one of the more tap-in side of...
Yeah, it has to be Bruno Fernandes, as you said at the top of the show, Footballer of the Year. I expect him to win PFA Player of the Year. I mean, some people
Do you
make
think he should do? Because obviously we're judging every Premier League player's best player here. Would he, for you, should he win?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think some people say, Man United have had so few games, they haven't played in Europe, but neither did Kante when he won it in 2017, neither did Mahrez, neither did Luis Suarez when he won it. And he hasn't, of course, won the league this year, but 9 of the last 16 PFA Player of the Years haven't won the league. I don't think it's actually imperative. And this guy's created the most chances in the entirety of Europe. And the last player to create more in a Premier League season was Kevin De Bruyne in 2019-20. And he didn't win the league that year either, but he was named PFA Player of the Year. So I think exceptional performance is just exceptional performance, and he's been brilliant.
Yeah, and I think obviously that's the more voted for by the players, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're hearing a lot of the players so far in
it's true that.
interviews and other teams talking about Bruno being the guy that they think
He's
should
been
win
amazing.
it.
He's only needs one more to equal the Premier League assist from 19.
Oh, please, come on, Bruno.
Wow.
It feels like it's at that verge, though,
It's-
doesn't it?
it's
Where it's like,
close.
oh, we've talked about it too much now. We've
Yeah.
talked about it too much.
Indeed.
Okay, Newcastle. We're bouncing back. Are we?
Yeah, no, this is me. This
Okay.
is me. I found this quite tough because Newcastle's season, by their standards and what they were expecting this year, hasn't been where
Yeah.
they expected Champions League football. Hasn't happened at all. Some of their star signings, like Voltemade, who started so well this year, didn't end up kind of finishing very, very strong. I've gone for Bruno G. I think he's been their star player this year. He has been injured. I think if someone said to me Lewis Hall or Malik Chow, I'd kind of be happy with that as well. But Bruno G, when he has been fit, shows that he is one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, in my opinion. I think he could easily end up being somebody that, again, another club ends up looking to try and bring in. He does everything so well. You need him to have a bit of a defensive game. He can do that. But going forward, he has that ability too. But scores some very, very big goals for Newcastle. He's one of their, if not their most important player now in their squad. And you can tell how much of a drop-off it happens when he's injured for Newcastle. For me, he's their player this season, but I was kind of picking from a rough bunch.
Yeah, most goals and assists for Newcastle in the Premier League this season. I think good that you shouted out Lewis Hall. I think chatting to a few Newcastle fans, a few of them have mentioned
definitely.
Lewis Hall, so it's good you gave him a shout out. Now, Forest, we're back to you, Zach, because we want to get Dougie's Sunderland take as a Sunderland fan coming soon. So, go on, who have you revealed?
This
Their
is
player
quite
this season?
easy. It's Elliot Anderson. He's been amazing. He's been so good for them this year in midfield. I actually, have the pleasure. I was there for when Chelsea lost 3-1 at Stamford Bridge recently. But it was the first time I saw him in the flesh. Oh my God. Oh my God. He commands that entire team. Like, he's telling everybody what to do. He's telling everybody where to go. He's ordering everybody's positions to play his passes through perfectly. He bulldozes that midfield. He gave Chelsea a really tough time when he came on, didn't even start, and he looks fantastic. He's somebody that's going to have, I think, a stellar career in the Premier League, can do a bit of everything. It is such a joy to watch. In this modern version of what the Premier League is, with physicality being so important, he has loads and loads and loads of it in there. He's brilliant.
Where will he be playing next season, Dougie?
Manchester City, I would have thought. I think with Rodri's future a little bit uncertain, although it seems like this week he's more likely to stay, but Bernardo Silva potentially leaving. I think Elliot Anderson makes a lot of sense for Man City in the short and long term as well. I think there'll be a number of clubs interested in him. Like Real Madrid should probably have a look at him as well, but I think Man City, if they swoop in early enough, should
Is there not a chance he stays at Forest? I'm going to say that because obviously Forest this season, they've stayed up. Looks like Vitor Pereira is going to get that new contract. And we saw how difficult it is to get players out of Forest last season when Spurs tried to get Morgan Gibbs-White. He ended up signing a new deal. Seeing reports of £120 million fees being banded around. Is there not a chance he stays at Forest?
I think there's always a chance. And look, I didn't think Xabi Alonso was going to go to Chelsea, and that looks likely to happen as it stands right now. So I could easily be wrong. But I just think with the calibre of clubs after Elliot Anderson and the quantity of clubs after him as well, I can't really see him staying
in
at
demand,
City ground.
Stick him up. Okay, Dougie, your beloved Sunderland. Your chance to wax
this is
lyrical
actually-
about
You've got
your
loads
season.
of players here.
It could have been Mukiele, it could have been Dan Ballard. I think Brian Brobby's done a really underrated job. But to be honest, it has to be, I think, signing of the season alongside Ryan Cherky, Granit Xhaka. I think he's been absolutely phenomenal. I'd like to thank Basel, Gladbach, Leverkusen, Arsenal, Switzerland, the nation of Kosovo, creating this man. He has been absolutely brilliant. I could read out a number of stats, but it's actually the composure he brings to this side, the leadership, the way he calms down everyone. When we have been under pressure at various points and results have slightly dipped, it's been Granit Xhaka leading from the front. And I don't think without his signing, the likes of Mukiele, the likes of Brobby, the quality of players we were able to attract, which has kept us up by a distance, would have arrived at the club. So I've loved him.
The other thing as well, you've got all the statistical metrics as why he's been such a great signing, and obviously the profile of player coming to that club. But I think what he's done very well is you look at all his media interviews and how much he talks about what the derby meant to him. Like he's referenced in interviews people critiquing the move and how much Sunderland's been a family. And he's just handled that side of it very well, which I think the Sunderland fans have loved as well, because he looks like he absolutely loves playing for Sunderland.
Yeah, I mean, he only cost £13 million. And in 2026, I know he's 33, but it's an amazing bargain.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Okay, stick him up. Spurs, Dougie. Now, obviously, I'm a Tottenham fan. I realise that it's not been a brilliant season.
Yeah,
it's probably not.
This is tough.
But
I mean, this is a rogue pick, I think.
Can we not put anyone up?
Yeah, I mean, I really did struggle. I mean, I thought about Mohamed Kudus, but he's been injured since January. I mean, Gallagher's been much better under De Zerbi, but he started quite slowly. João Pellegrini, I think, has been very up and down. And, like,
but
you can look at his...
The one thing I'd say a lot of Spurs fans would chuck in the mix would be Archie Gray, actually, just because of his attitude and the fact that he's had him to play in multiple positions. I know he hasn't played as much recently under De Zerbi, but I agree it's a tough...
I mean, if I could have done null and void, I probably would have. I don't think anyone particularly deserves it from Spurs this year. I think Romero's been better than Van de Ven, but probably not been at his absolute best. I didn't actually consider Archie Gray. Maybe he was the person to go for, but he's not been a guaranteed starter every week. You've had so many injury issues, so many changes of manager. It's just been a disaster of a season. And I think Romero, sadly, is injured for the end of it as well. But yeah, it's been a bleak campaign. It was tough to pick anyone, really.
Yeah, fair point.
Who would you have gone for? I'm sure the Spurs fan.
I was just saying, I having this chat with my Spurs mates prior to this, and a lot of people think that Archie Gray will be player of the season because of the context of the season you have to take into account. No one stands out. I think that's the most important thing. But the fact that he's had to play in multiple positions, his attitude, his availability, which has to be factored in because there's so few players. I think Kudus is a good shout prior to the injury because he was a great signing. But there hasn't been anyone that's been particularly standout, I agree.
Okay.
Which is similar to West Ham, really, I suppose.
Yeah. I mean, let's go on with it. Jared Bowen, because he...
Let's get on with it.
Well, more so is in the fact there aren't loads to choose from. I think someone could tell me Somerville, I'd say, yeah, he had a really good purple patch. He had a really, really good purple patch for them. Fernandes has been good. And it's, he, again, doesn't surprise me, he's somebody that's been linked with several different moves, different places. I think PSG were the latest club to jump in there. And he's a very talented player. But maybe Bowen gets a little bit of this treatment sometimes, that we're used to him being the main man for West Ham, so we don't give enough credit to him. Again, high up there for the assist numbers so far this season, done really, really on that side. Another player who can be in double figures for goals and assists throughout this campaign. He does give you kind of a West Ham guarantee. He will be there every single day, week in, week out. Want him to play on the wing, he can do that. Want him to play up front, he can do that. In a season for West Ham when it's been really, really tough, and look, they're still in the midst of a very, very tough battle, and who knows what will happen for them in the last few games remaining, he is always kind of one of their more reliable players that they've been able to rely on this season. I think, he's there playing the season for me. If someone said, as I said, Fernandes or even something, I would get it, but sometimes you've got to give credit where it's due.
Okay.
Dukes, would he go to the World Cup? Will he go to the World Cup?
Ooh, I think he might just miss out. It's between him and Madueke, isn't it? For that backup role to Saka. Saka looking in great form at the moment. Jared Bowen's obviously got more experience. I don't think Madueke is likely to start either, but he's had great impact when he's played for England, not least in that 5-0 win in Serbia in September. I think Bowen might just miss out.
Okay, stick him up.
Last but certainly not least, Wolves, of course, won't be playing Premier League football next season, but who have you gone as their...
Again, it was quite difficult to pick, but I think João Gomez has probably stood out. I think this year he's completed more dribbles than anyone else. I think he leads them for defensive actions. I think over 400 more passes than any other player. There's links to Atletico Madrid, and for me that makes a lot of sense because they signed the kind of they signed the Griezmann replacement in January in Lookman, but they haven't really solidified that midfield for quite a while, and they need to look past Koke eventually. So I think João Gomez would be a really good pickup for Atletico Madrid. I think he's a very talented player. I like Andre alongside him as well. Mateus Mane's had a couple of moments as well, but across the entire season, I think it's João Gomez.
Stick him on. There we go. So just out of interest, any that you would disagree with, because obviously you've done half each, any that you would
I would have definitely gone Mateus Fernandes for West Ham.
But I would like not... Jared Bowen has got a ridiculous amount of assists this season.
Yeah.
I think Fernandes has maybe 3 or 4 compared
and
to...
I do like Anton Stack for Leeds as well. I think he was quite unlucky.
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't change too much.
Well, shout out Morgan Gibbs White. I know Elliot Anderson is the obvious pick, but Gibbs White, top scoring English player in the league as well this season. But Elliot Anderson is the obvious pick there. So there we have it.
Rice, this is just...
Yes, definitely shout out Declan Rice. Sorry, because he might win the actual player of the season. Well, there we have it. There is confirmation on the Saturday Social Whiteboard of every Premier League club's player of the season so far, as picked by Zach and Dougie. Enjoyed that? Let us know what you think of those selections at home.